who used to work in the corrections and legal field, and now as a doctoral student studying criminology and criminal justice, I spent years learning about the realities of those who are impacted by the system. And throughout this time, I've engaged in countless conversations with those currently and formerly incarcerated, as well as their friends and family.
I am thrilled to be here today at the culmination of many months of work.
These conversations have transformed how I view the world. They have taught me lessons no classroom ever could, and have instilled in me both an urgency and hope for criminal legal reform.
My collaborators in this work, Christina and Troy Williams, each bring their own background and perspectives. I'd say that we share a common belief in respecting people's humanity and dignity. And we share a passion for standing up for those who are impacted by our carceral systems. In the human rights world, after gross human rights violations, we say that people have a right to know what happened and under what circumstances it happened. This knowing paves the way for justice and repair. And this is why we create initiatives that focus on truth-telling. Jennifer Lackey, a philosophy professor at Northwestern, has argued that in addition to the right to know, people have a right to be known. They have a right to be heard or seen or otherwise perceived by our senses so that they are not forgotten, ignored, erased. In describing the right to know, Dr. Lackey is thinking about the exceptional circumstances such as the aftermath of armed conflict, or the reparations that are due after massive historic injustices, such as enslavement and colonization. It is my belief that these rights, the right to know and the right to be known, are also relevant in the everyday. Because we are living in a society that chooses to acknowledge only some stories and that feels comfortable with the suffering of those whose stories we ignore. Our stories are important for so many reasons. Through storytelling, we can impart lessons. We can share our culture and history. Storytelling is also a form of truth-telling, a way for people to share their truth and their experiences. It is an avenue for understanding, which is something we are in great need of, especially here in South Carolina. There are certain seasons in South Carolina, I know y'all are gonna know what I'm talking about, when the air feels like it's going to suffocate you. And of course, you all know, as we approach warmer months, the air is thick with humidity and pollen. But sometimes, it feels to me like it's not just humidity and pollen. Like there's something else in the air. Sometimes it feels like what is suffocating us, what is suffocating all of us, is the miasma that permeates when we bury the truth. What would happen if we opened ourselves to people's stories? If we tried to understand? If we heard stories that challenged the one-dimensional pictures we create of entire groups of people? What if, instead of only hearing stories about certain people, we heard stories from them? What would happen if we were willing to sit with complexity? Maybe, if we did that, we could take the time to understand our neighbors who might have a different cultural or religious background, who might be immigrants, who might be transgender, or who might have been incarcerated. Maybe we wouldn't be so quick to give groups of people a single label and then discard them. It is my hope that if we opened ourselves to their stories, that we would pause before allowing our communities and our governments to make choices that actively harm them. At the core of the Bridging Worlds collaboration is a strong desire to make space for the stories of those impacted by incarceration, people who deserve better than we have given them.